Hi, today is Tuesday, July 11th, 2020, and we are doing a Saturday night sewing chat. So I'm just waiting for people to come in. I came in about 2 minutes early. And I will pull this up on my cell phone as well. All right, so we'll just wait until we got 1 more minute. Hi, Diane 57. I can see that. And look like Kimberly Dion. So I am just waiting a little bit. I don't know if I can, if I tilt that up one more time, it may fall over. So at least you can see my sewing machine. You can see where I would be pressing with my wooden iron. So hopefully you can see. I am back to working on the Teaquilts pineapple blocks that I started. It was actually my second pineapple quilt. So I participated in Guyleen Fitzgerald's pineapple challenge. She had to do 1 block a day for the month of June. I did do that. I actually made 48 blocks. And I'm not ready to put that one together because I actually had started this one first. So I want to just go ahead and finish, well, not finish, because I had only started on the first 4 blocks and hadn't even finished those, but I did finish them so that I could put the picture on the thumbnail. But I am just going to be sewing more blocks, and I'm not sure how big I want this one to be, but I actually like this layout, so I'm hoping that I will make more. I got like a stack of cutting back here of fabrics that I didn't get a chance to cut today. I started doing some more cutting earlier today. And then I had to stop because my back started hurting. So I was like, okay, let me go sit down. That was about 6:30. So, but I have enough pieces that I should be able to sew whatever it is I can get done today. So I'm gonna go ahead and see who's in the chat room. Thank you for the 9 thumbs up that I already see. Appreciate that so much. And we've got Chocolate Treat here. It says, eat chocolates and quilt. All right. Welcome to Teaquilts. And that person posted that at 8:04. I don't know if they're still here or not, but that's pretty funny. Mary is here. Says, ha 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 at 8:32. Says, I'm going outside to see the comet that won't be visible for another 7,000 years, and then I'll be back. Robin Boyd is here saying hello everyone, and Miss T. Diane M is here saying hi all. I like to eat chocolate and quilt. Ellen Campbell is here. So all of these people before 9 o'clock. Ellen Campbell says hello T and quilting friends. Do anyone have a breakdown of how a quilting teacher business work? I'm looking on one for children. I'm working on one for children's. It's a non-profit help. So if you all got some suggestions for Ellen, let her know. I can't remember who it was that I thought was doing something similar to that, but I could be just dreaming maybe. When Sprinter says hello everyone from Maryland. And Diane is saying T has done lots of charity quilts. I don't think that's what she's talking about. I think she's talking about like teaching children how to quilt. Robin says that I am dog sitting, so no sewing for me tonight. Okay. Vivian Calby is here. Hi, Vivian. Betty Harris is here. Says, hello, everyone. Been looking after my sister-in-law. Looks like she had a stroke, but it's a pinched nerve. I'm glad it's not a stroke, so she won't have any after effects, but pinched nerves are very painful as well until they decide to relax. I've had that plenty of times. And Ellen also says she's praying for her. Cheryl Clute is here, says hello T and everyone. My brother is here, he says hey sis, I'm here. He says hi to everyone. Doris O retracted her message, but she's here apparently. And I did say Kimberly Dion was here earlier saying hello. Tiffany's Quilting Life is here. Says hi T. Hi everyone. And Kim Barris is here. Says hi Miss T and everyone. Melissa LePage is here. Says hello T and everyone from Kentucky. And Carol Green is here. Says hi T and all. So we'll go through those. A lot of people came in at 9 or comments at 9. Mike is here. Hi Mike. He says he's in Sacramento, California. Goodness gracious. Stay safe, Mike. Diane Rick says hi, T and everyone. June Hansen says hi, T and everyone. And let's see. Terry T is here saying hello to everyone. Hi, Terry. Welcome to the channel. Slowing Down Joe is here. Says hi, T and everybody. Diane says she is sewing tonight. Kevin the Quilter is here. Yay! He said, that's my friend. Hey, Miss T. Miss Crochet says hello and greetings to all T quilters. That would be Miss Crochet. Ellie Scrapper is here. Says hi, T and everyone from Larissa. Let's see. Kim is hand sewing. Sue GSD is here. Welcome to the channel, Sue. She says, hi, T. Just a bit warm tonight. Hope all is well. Yes, all is great for me. I just been trying to make myself not do too much. So today was the first day that I'm actually doing any quilting. So, like I said, my back started hurting while I was cutting. So I just stopped cutting because I don't want to overdo it, so I wanted to make sure that I was able to do the live tonight, so I just quit when my back started hurting. So Judy is here as well. Says hello T Quilts gang. Lisa saying hello Miss T and everyone. Let's see. I'm trying to skip some of the comments where you all are talking to each other. And Diana saying, T Pappy says hello. Tell Tom I said hi. Kim is working on Hexie quilt top that she started 5 years ago. My mom helped pick out the fabrics and help with placement in the middle. That's pretty fun. Linda Robertson is here saying hello everyone from Pennsylvania. Teresa Louise, I quilt too, is here. Says hi Miss T and hello everyone. And just trying to get through. The Molly J is here. Says hi T and everyone from Maryland. Welcome back. Haven't seen you for a while, I think, unless I'm just dreaming, which could be. Larissa says, T, I'm still at it, working on my room, putting these cubes together, and my hands are hurting, but I know I have to get it done, so I will do more listening, I guess, than commenting. Okay. Shaquita Pearson is here saying hi, T, and everyone. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm assuming you was working. Hope everything's okay with you, Shaquita. June Hansen says not sewing, have granddaughter and granddog. Teresa Black is here, says hi T and everyone. It's hot here today in Tennessee. Celia Swain says hello T and everyone. And Linda DeVito is here saying hi T and all. Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome from Beverly Hills, Florida. Pamela Tabor says hello T and everyone. And Tiffany is just saying hi to everyone she missed. She says she's walking away for a minute. Sheila Willis is here, says hi T and everyone. Hi Sheila. I can't remember if you've been on my channel, but if not, welcome to the channel. I appreciate you. And then we also got Maria Mayer here, says hi T and everyone. Just checking in for a little while. So, we normally have chat for the new people on the chat tonight. We normally have our live session on Wednesdays. But I also, since the pandemic has started, been doing Saturday night and doing it a later time so that the people on the West Coast can attend as well. We normally do 7 o'clock on Wednesday Central Standard Time. 9 o'clock Central Standard Time on Saturday. Look like a few more people just popped in. Linda Price says hello to everyone, and Sue says, question please, when you cut the pineapple block on your AccuQuilt, do you cut one block at a time or as many layers as you can? And I don't know if you're interested, when I did that first pineapple series, when we first, it was like, had to be April or the end of March. You can search Teaquilts pineapple quilt, and it should pull up where you've got the AccuQuilt die, and it doesn't say part 1 on part 1 because I didn't know I was going to do like a series of 5 videos. But in that first one that doesn't have a part number, I actually went over how I cut. I show you how I mark my board so that it's easier to cut, and then I also write on the board what size piece of fabric I need to cut that section. And yes, I do cut more than one piece at a time. And I don't cut like one long strip because the way they got the pieces on the die, the pieces move off of a right angle. So you need to have a right angle for each section. So I've got like 3 right angles on my board, I think. But if you look at that video, it'll show you how I set it up. And then yes, I put 6 pieces of fabric in each of my square up lines that I put on my ruler, so you'll have to go see that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's not in this room with me today, so that's why. I was cutting at my ironing board in the back part of my house, so that's why it's not in this room. I was pressing, and the Go Electric is sitting on the end of my ironing board. So that's where all of that is. I just brought fabric in here so I could cut. Cut like chunks out of my scraps because I'm using like oddball shaped things. And then I'm just cutting pieces out. Like I'm just cutting scraps that I have laying out from other projects. And so some of them are kind of weirdly shaped. So what I do is I know what size I need to put on my boards so that I can cut in that particular section. So I'm just roughly cutting them to those sizes so I'm not dealing with all the excess fabric at the machine. And then at the same time that I'm cutting these fabrics down, I'm also, whatever waste I have, I'm cutting into strings. So yeah, but that video has everything in there that you'll need to know about that AccuQuilt board, how I cut and everything. I'm hoping you all got a chance to see the thumbnail. That's what I'm working on today. And this looks a little strange when I hold it up. I've already started this. I'm working on the 3rd. Yeah, I'm on the 3rd round on the diagonal because this block will sit like this in the quilt. But I'm just going to hold it like this because what I want you to see is that this section here is light, this section is light, and this section is light. So when you go around a pineapple block, you end up with 8 sides until you put the triangle, the half square triangles on the corner. So I'm putting lights on 3 corners and then darks on 5 corners, but not necessarily dark because this is a light. But mostly anything with color up in these 5 areas, and then beige, white, and gray are in this area. So that's kind of what I'm working on. I've already started. Let me see who else came in before I start sewing. I'm going to sew for about maybe 10 minutes. So if you're wanting me to answer any questions, just hold them because I'm not going to be going back up through the chat because it's just going to be too many comments when I'm actually doing a sewing chat, and I spend most of my time reading comments. So I'm going to go back and make sure I got everybody in. Like Rose Walls has come in, says hi from Indiana. I'm just going down to make sure no new people came in. And I know, see, you all are talking to each other. I love that. So you all just keep doing that. Carolyn Bowser has come in. She says hi, T and fellow quilters. And Barbara McCall says hi from Philly. Welcome, Barbara. Appreciate you coming in. I got a quilter in my group whose last name is McCall, so it's nice to see that name. Lisa says she's trying to finish a Missouri Star Quilt Company pinwheel pattern. Donna Scroggins is here, says love watching your lives. Thank you, Donna. Appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and do some sewing. I'm going to try to, it's like 9:14, 9:15, so I'm going to do like 10-15 minutes of sewing. I'm just going to be adding pieces. So what I've done, I'm laying on my board down here, I've got pieces. I pulled one of each fabric that I have cut, and I need to cut more fabric so I can like mix them up, but you know, this was just so I could do my live today, so I just did what I had to do. Just sewing. And while we're sewing, I guess I could talk a little bit and and hope I don't have to use my seam ripper. Every time I'm talking and sewing with you guys, I end up using my seam ripper, and I went and got my seam ripper ahead of time, this time out of my long arm area, because that's where I mostly use it. Let's see, Wednesday I told you all that I went and got an eye exam. Went to one place to get glasses, and it was like $900 and something. I think something has happened in the eyeglass industry, because I went to the place that I went to 3 years ago. I asked them to pull up what did I pay for my glasses the last time I was there, and it was about $575 for some glasses. And then when I go back 3 years later, they actually came up he came up with like $680 something for just one pair, okay? So so then he was saying, let me see if there's anything I can add in, because he had already put in some discounts. I was at Pearl Vision this time, Pearl Vision. And I asked him, I said, does Pearl Vision give credits to AARP members? And he said, yes, we do. And then he went in there and he thought that their discounts were going to be more than for AARP, but it ended up that it was cheaper for me to go AARP, and he got it. It still was a lot, but he got it down for 2 pair for $838, something like that. Now you got to remember, I know that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, because I paid $575 3 years ago. But it is a lot of money, but you also got to remember that there are some things I'm not willing to compromise on, and that's progressive lenses. That is, I need transitional lenses, and I also need not the cheap plastic ones, not your base plastic. So I got a poly plastic that's like a mid-grade plastic. I don't need the most expensive plastic, but I don't want the real cheap ones. So yeah, I said, ooh, Lord, wearing these bifocals, you spend a lot of money. Let me see if I put if I'm on the same count. Yes, Yeah, but I have never paid this much for glasses in my life. And that's one of the hard parts of trying to order glasses online from some of the cheaper places, because they need to know exactly where to start that bifocal at. And then they're going to start to charge you more. It's not so cheap. You won't get them for quite that cheap. You're going to get them cheap, but then you're going to have to worry about whether your lens is in the right position or not. So, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. 1, 2. Okay. I thought maybe I had one that I only had one piece on, but I'm okay. And 3. So I should have glasses. Probably not next Wednesday, because they said it takes 7 to 10 days. So glasses should be coming soon. I'm still with a pair of glasses that got one frame, which is my original frame over here, and a jacked up frame over here that goes on another pair of glasses that my when I was at my ophthalmologist's office, his helper, I don't know what you call them, she ended up fixing it up for me. So I got a jacked up pair of glasses, but at least my head isn't hurting. My headaches have stopped from the fact that I was wearing bifocals with just one arm. Every pair of glasses I had in this house, nothing would fit on these pair of glasses. So I'm glad she found something. Woo, I said, oh Lord, I'm gonna have to start wearing contacts, look like. They charging that much money. Let me know in the comments once I stop sewing. I'll probably try to remember again, but you all know I can't remember squat, right? If I don't write it down. Let me know if you have the Teaquilt die for making the pineapple. Just trying to make sure I don't intentionally repeat any fabrics in the same block, but if it should happen, it just happens. So I try to look at all the pieces before I sew. Last time I was working on this, I had 4 blocks, but I didn't have the triangle corners put on, so I put the triangle corners on them, and now I'm working on the next set of 4. So this one I can just pull off so I can start my last piece for this round. And then I'll show you the blocks and show you what I have. They'll look a little crazy right now, but just trying to find something I haven't used yet. I think I've been sewing about 8 minutes now. Oh, I should have showed you all what I got when I went shopping with Kevin, but I left it in the longhorn room. I guess I can run. That's closer than the back of the house. I could probably get that. But I didn't buy much. I bought a piece of fabric that I thought might be interesting to do for a stack and whack. I don't know until I do it, but I thought that would be interesting. I always like to try weird things to do with stacking wax, not what you would normally think of to do with them. And then we went to a second place. Kevin was actually looking for something in particular, so we went to a second quilt shop, and I found 2 pieces of African fabric that had people in it, and I'm looking for African fabric that has people in it. It wasn't the kind I'm actually looking for, but at least it was people. And she did have another one that had mask, but I'm not really interested in the mask. I'm just interested in the people. I think I got to take this one off so it can be finished. Nope, it's already finished. It's got 4. So, just add on to this. Yep. So I want to, when I first made the 4 blocks, I only cut like enough pieces to like make about 6 blocks. I just had a few extras so I could make some choices on fabric I needed just in case. So I really had to do a whole lot of cutting today. But so I got to do a whole lot more cutting because I never really pull my fabric scraps to actually cover this quilt. And I still haven't actually pulled any fabric scraps. I'm pulling whatever I got out. Backing pieces, left over from previous projects, all of that. So, just using whatever that's laying around that I haven't put up first. Because I'm like, why pull out more fabric when you already got stuff that need to be put up? And I'm trying to talk a little louder, but also remember I got sinus issues. I have people saying they can't hear, but when I go back and listen to the recordings, I can hear. So I'm thinking it's really their systems that they need to adjust the volume on. But it was so funny because I had somebody tell me on a video that I had uploaded like 4 or 5 years ago that there was no volume. I'm like, I think I would have known that by now. Turns out her device was turned down, of course. But all right. Let's see. This is the top. Nope, this is the top. This over here is my lights, and lights. This is actually the top of the block. So I've got 1, 2, 3 pieces here. You can see it going up around all sides of the black square. That means that I need to add 1 more round because I need 4 pieces from the center up. And the AccuQuilt blocks end up being 10 inches finished, and the ones that I did with Guyleen's, I think that they were 8 inches finished. So these are a little bit bigger too, but they're still made with the same 1-inch finished strips. I prefer this method because everything is cut to size and I don't have to square up anything. I do like that part. I think I got to use these pieces again. That's why I have a lot of them out. But let me see what's going on in the chat. Also, if you have the pineapple die, let me know in the comments and I can read it. See who has the pineapple die. And also, thank you, Donna, for, I don't know if I said thank you when you said that you love watching my lives, but I appreciate that as well. Let's see. I don't remember. Maryland's Homestead says, hi from Maryland. Hi and welcome to the channel. Appreciate you stopping by. Doris McCall is saying hello to everyone. And Lisa's reminding everybody to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you so much, Lisa. T Black says, T, have you made a snail's trail quilt? And if you did, whose pattern did you use? There seem to be a lot of different ones out there. I have not personally made a snail's trail quilt. I have a video on making the snail trails blocks because we made it as a Gill project, and I made about 7 or 8 blocks. I can't remember how many they gave me. The technique that I like to use for that, if you don't have a die cutting system, is paper piecing, because it would be very accurate when you go to put your different units together, because you kind of got like that diamond block in the middle, and then you've got a block that's very similar to the pineapple block, but then you've got that middle piece, and you want to make sure that everything connects up. So I would say paper piecing for that if you don't have a die cutting system. And I don't have snail trails as in the die cutting. And Sue says, if you think bifocals are bad, trifocals are really expensive. And I'm hoping that I never, ever, ever in my whole entire life have to get trifocals. I'm going to resist that if my doctor starts trying to move me towards that, because I can't afford all this. It's ridiculous. Ellie says, T, I just got my dream embroidery. A Janome 500E embroidery. I am really get it at a great price, $1,300. She had it for a year and only sold on it twice. I will be getting it for $1,300. Oh my God, that is a nice price for an embroidery machine. I don't know anything about the Janome brand, but I know that they are a great brand. They got some of the biggest hoops on their machines too. Quilt Gal's here. She says, hi T and everyone. Carolyn says, I have the pineapple die from AccuQuilt. Okay, that's one. Diane does not. Kevin don't have it. Oh, but then he's so funny. He says, I don't have the AccuQuilt pineapple die. Oh, wait. Yes, we do. Laughing out loud. Yes, because anything I have is Kevin's. He's saying that because I was in the store looking at a quilt that was hanging. And it was made with a 60-degree diamond shape, and Kevin had asked me if he could use my studio die, and I said sure. And he's had it for over a year probably. He hasn't gotten around to using it yet. And he tells me, you can get it anytime, you can take it, I don't want to hold your stuff. And I'm like, if I need it, I'll let you know. And so when I saw that quilt hanging up there, and I'm like, now ain't that nice? And I said, you know, we got the die for that. And he just burst out laughing. He go, if you want it, you can get it. I'm like, no, I'm just saying that we have a die. Mary says, T, I don't think 838 is bad for 2 pair. It's not bad, but it's like 40% markup in 3 years from what I paid for glasses 3 years ago. And he was surprised that they were that expensive too. Yeah. Because I had him look it up. I'm like, how much did I pay for these other glasses that I got from you? So, but Sandra Cockwell says, hi from St. John, BC. Welcome to the channel, Sandra. Appreciate you stopping by. We're doing sewing chat. Right now I'm doing the chat part. I try to do like 10 to 15 minutes of chatting and then 10 to 15 minutes of sewing, so I can at least get something done during this process. Let's see. Wind Sprinter says, I have the pineapple die from AccuQuilt, so that's 2. Rose says, I got the AccuQuilt pineapple after I saw you do yours. I have not used it yet, but hope to when I get a couple other projects, so that's 3. And Mary's saying at Sue, trifocals are terrible. I hope I never get that. I don't even want to have to. It was enough learning how to use bifocals when I first got them. I can't imagine having 3 different areas in a small lens. It's like, that's just too much. Melissa says, don't have the AccuQuilt system. Way too much money for me. Yes, it is. If you don't, especially if you don't use it. And that's why I always try to use the system whenever I'm cutting. If I get a pattern and they're telling me to cut some oddball size piece, and it's the majority of the pieces are in that size, I will round that piece up to a die that I have in any size that I have, and then I'll rearrange and cut the pieces that I have to cut by rotary cutter. I'll change those because I'll take the majority of the pieces and cut them on my AccuQuilt. Kind of like when you're doing a Bonnie Hunter quilt, she has a lot of different things that you're cutting, and I try to cut as many of those pieces as I can on my die cutting system. It goes a lot quicker than using templates and or rotary cutting. So it is a lot of money, and it's even more money if you don't use it. And I'm getting my money out of this pineapple die. I've already made one quilt. I'm on the second one from using that technique. I mean, that system. I could have done Guyleen's project with my AccuQuilt die, but I wanted to officially do it her way, so that if I ever want to submit into one of her challenges or anything that she's having hung in a quilt show, I officially did it the correct way. We got Leetta Bryan here. Hi, Leetta. She says hi, T and everyone. See, Ellie says, T, Larissa, she says, T, that's pretty what you're working on. Thank you so much. I'm just using scrap stuff laying around. I thought about like pulling, you know, like different colors and stuff, and I'm like, just use up these scraps. I tend to have a lot of scraps. I got a lot of people lately giving me fabric. Kevin gave me some lights that I pulled out on Wednesday when I was chatting with you all, and I cut some of those, and some of them still need to be cut. I just cut some of the lights and some of the dark. So I got a lot of cutting to do because I'm going to need a whole lot of pieces, because I really don't have any idea how many blocks I'm going to make at this point. I haven't made a plan yet. Let's see. Lisa says, I'm trying to get Tiffany's Quilting Life to do a stack and whack. I've been fabric shopping online. I've got the fever after watching T's videos. Yeah, if you're wanting to know what the stack and whack is, it's kind of like a kaleidoscope quilt. I have a whole series on that on my channel, showing you from what fabrics will and will not work, and then also show you how to cut, and then I show you how to sew those pieces together. Mary says, I have an AccuQuilt baby, or whatever they call it. I bet it doesn't have a pineapple die. I think the pineapple, I think that die is 6 inches, and I think it might work on the baby, because I think the baby will take dies up to 6 inches. What it is it's a very long die, but if I'm not mistaken, when I cut my pieces, they're only like, the largest piece I cut is 3 3/4. And so I'm thinking that you can probably use that die on the baby. LaConte Middleton is here saying hello. Welcome. Joyce Rockamore is here saying howdy. Haven't heard your name in this chat in a while. Welcome back. Rose says, I have used a creative grids ruler that you square up after each round, and that is just too much of a pain to do. And that is the same thing that I felt like with this ruler. I want to just cut, and then I want to get all my cutting done. And then when I start sewing, I just want to sew. I don't want to sew and then square up, and then you got to cut a chunk, because, you know, with Guyleen's method, you cut a chunk. You're not really pre-cutting, but I did pre-cut my pieces because that was driving me nuts too, just pulling them off of a strip and then having to cut them, trim them down as I was piecing. I didn't want to do that, so I still pre-cut everything. And it was just too much back and forth, whereas when I'm doing this method, once I'm here sewing, I'm just sewing, and I do a lot more talking to you guys than I do sewing when I'm doing the sewing chats. But yeah. Vivian says she has the pineapple dye. I got it when you first did the pineapple blocks. That's awesome. Somebody finished a quilt, a bed-sized quilt, and put it in Teaquilts Facebook group, but I can't remember who finished it. It was pretty too. Teresa says, I have just used the same frame, saves a few bucks. And see, that's the problem. If you bring in a pair of frames for them to put your, because I do have a pair of frames that I'm going to have them put my new prescription in, but they're my sunglasses. And I just get single vision in those. And I didn't want to give up the only pair of glasses that I could really see out of if push came to shove until I got the new ones. You don't get any other discount. So if you don't get 30, 40, or 50% off of your lenses, which I got progressive, I got transitionals, and I got the better plastic, you don't get 40% off of that. So then you defeat the whole purpose, because the lens cost me, I think the frames were like $207. But if one pair of glasses cost $687 with 40% off, that was kind of crazy. And then when I get the second pair, I get the second pair at half off of everything. So if you don't get the frames the way they got this stuff kind of put in, you end up paying more money depending on what type of lenses you're getting. So it's just, it's a rip-off of what they're charging people just so we can see. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Donna says, I have the big Sizzix cutter. It will use AccuQuilt dyes also. That's nice to know. I have never put, I got the Sizzix Big Shot, but I have never tried using my dyes in there. I was told that the Go dyes were too thick to go in there, so that's interesting to know. But I have never tried to put it in there. I buy Go dyes, but I have a studio cutter. I try to buy studio dyes if I can, but they had the pineapple one out for so long, and then when I finally decided to buy it is when they decided to make it on the studio. So I didn't like that at all, but I wasn't going to go buy the studio dye after I had already bought the AccuQuilt Go dye. Both of them are by AccuQuilt, by the way. Studio is by AccuQuilt as well. Teresa says, I have vision insurance, $30 a month for 2 people. I don't know where I'm supposed to get that. My job I retired from didn't have any vision insurance. So all I get is my medical exam covered under my medical insurance. So I used to have vision insurance, but I don't. And let's see. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I know they pay some, but I'm trying to figure out, would it be cheaper if I had vision insurance after you pay every month, and then you still got to pay portions of the glasses, but I guess eventually it might make it cheaper. I don't know. I just think it's all a rip-off. Melissa says, I can still cut with scissors if I have to. Got that right. And pineapple blocks can be paper piece. They'll be more accurate as well. Janice Barrera is here. She's saying beautiful quilt. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. I don't know if I've seen your name before. I can't remember. Rose says, hubby's got trifocals ones. They are so handy when you have to look up to do something. If you are farsighted and cannot see near. Were really useful when welding something overhead. And see, I am nearsighted. I can see everything up close. I can see without my glasses on up close. and I can't see squat once I take my glasses off. Like, I can see television, but it's not like crystal clear. Like, I can probably identify everybody if people start moving around on me, if I don't know who's already on the screen. But I have to have my glasses to even watch television. But I don't have big screen. My husband has a big screen down in the so-called man cave. I have like, I don't know, 30 inches or something like that. I don't get big TVs. I got 3 TVs up here, and they're all pretty smaller ones. Bye, Kim. She said she had a phone call. I'm sure she's long gone. And Larissa is so excited about her new purchase. I can't wait for her to get her room together so she can start sewing on it. Nisi Ma's come in. She says, hey, T and everybody. C-Rex is here saying, hello, I'm late but here. It's okay. When you get here is when you get here. Tiffany's service is acting up for her. Donna says, the Go Dyes are actually thinner. I put paper folder under them, and it works perfect. Okay, that's pretty cool. See, I thought they were thicker. I didn't know that. So they're thinner, and she just put a folder under them. That's pretty cool. But I have my studio system set up all the time, and so then I have the Go Dye adapter that I use on my studio, and then I ended up this, like late last year, somebody was selling the Go Electric in Facebook Marketplace, really reasonable, and had a whole lot of dyes with it. And I only had like 2 of the dyes. They had the 2.5-inch strip dye. I resold it to somebody else, so I made money on the deal. I think I paid like $400 for a Go Electric and had about 6 or 7 dyes, all kind of mattes. And I sold the strip dye for like whatever, half price or whatever the original price, so I made money on that. I think I sold another dye. I had 2 dyes that I had already, and so I actually made some of my money back. And the only reason I got the Go Electric is because since I'm so prolific with the die cutting system, sometimes I do lectures or give classes when Quilt Guild asks me, and then that way I can take my studio and a Go with me when I go to class. Sometimes I just do a class on just cutting, and then just letting people, like, I only have my one system. Then I tell anybody else that have systems to bring their systems, and then I bring various dyes that people can cut their scraps into, so it's more like a die cutting day. So I kind of like that, but it just gives me one more machine that people can use when I'm doing classes. Larissa says, I have to get an AccuQuilt. Don't have one, so I can't join y'all on these projects. That's okay. We're just here sharing. And Mary is asking something about T. How many dyes do you and Kevin have? Laughing out loud. We got plenty. I haven't, like, I still got dyes. Like the dye that I gave Kevin, I had never used it. It was still in the package. So I took the plastic off of it before I gave it to him. And then I still got, I see one studio dye that has never been opened. Most of my AccuQuilt dyes, for some reason, I tend to open those because of how I store them, and they just store better without all the cardboard paper and stuff around it. So, yeah. I still got some I probably have never used, but I probably got them at a great deal. At one point, AccuQuilt just do not have the sales like they used to have, especially around Christmas time. That's when I first bought my first Go, and then they would do like 50% off of Go Dyes. And now it's like they'll give you only up to 20% off. And then every now and then, if you buy one dye, we'll give you a dye at half off. But I'm like, that's 25% off one dye, the lowest price dye. So it's not even a true 25% off. So, yep. They just don't. And they used to have sale deals where if you bought a gift card during Christmas time, so say you bought a $100 gift card, you paid $75 for it, and then I would buy myself gift cards. And then when they had the sales and getting 50% off, I would then go and use my gift card to buy all the stuff on the gift card. So I would buy myself 2 or 3 $100 gift cards, and then when they put the stuff 50% off, I was like making a mint. They stopped all of that. Let's see. Check into AARP for vision insurance. And yes, and that's probably where I'm going to have to get, because I didn't even realize that they had vision insurance until I had went to the first place that told me they didn't have regular AARP membership discount, but they had AARP vision insurance. So that's what I'm going to have to check into. But I did go to their website. They have stuff when you don't want it. You see it all the time. When you're looking for this stuff, you can't find it. It's buried in. And they start giving me all kind of articles about vision and all of that, but they didn't even talk about the vision insurance, okay? And maybe it's one of those things where they have it open during a certain period of year, like when you have your insurance, you have to get in and out within the month. So I'm going to pay attention for that in the future on the vision. Melissa saying it's a ripoff. Anything you can live without. Prices are through the roof, but wages don't go up at all. I feel like prices on their dyes, they could be cheaper, yes. But if I'm looking at it as far as saving me time, then I appreciate the time saving. And people ask me how you get so much done. I get so much done because I die cut 90% of my projects. So it just depends. And it is a very expensive system to get into. And that's why I do warn people when you first get in, don't buy stuff that you can easily die cut. Buy stuff that's hard for you to die cut. That way you will use it more. Buy stuff with curves, like your double wedding ring. You want to do a double wedding ring quilt. That would be the time to buy the system for stuff like that. Don't buy it for making a friendship star quilt block or churn dash quilt block. I have never purchased any of those block things like that because I can cut that with any of my other dies, any size I want. I don't need those particular dies. When you got, they call them block on boards. And that's kind of what the pineapple is, but with it having all of those different angles and stuff match up perfectly, that's a little bit different than rectangles, squares, and half square triangles. So, Sue Hill says she loves the strip dies. Hi, Sue. Welcome to the channel. Linda Griffin says, hi, T. I got designer glasses at Costco a couple years ago, and they were quite reasonable. Oh, my gosh. Now, I wonder if I should have checked at Sam's. And this is my other thing, because I went through 2 pair of glasses in less than 6 months. Twice, I fell asleep with my glasses on, did not know I was falling asleep. And I normally sleep in one position. So, apparently, I am changing in my older age where I'm tossing and turning because I wake up and my arm is sticking up in the air. You know, and then I can't wear the glasses anymore. So I was thinking about going to some place like America's Best and see if I could get just some cheap, the 2 pair for whatever, and see what they would charge me just to have the glasses with the line, and then just use those when anytime I'm in bed. So I am thinking about like getting another cheap pair of glasses somewhere that I don't care about having the progressive line not being there. I don't need transitional lenses on those. I just need a base pair of glasses. So I am considering that. But my designer lenses, designer frames, I wanted to make sure that I at least got everything I need in them to wear every day. And apparently I need 2 pair because I went through 2 pair in 6 months. So, Yeah, you can cut strips and squares and diamonds with a strip die. I have a video showing some of that stuff and how to mark it on your boards. I even show how to cut scraps on using your strip dies, how to get them done fast, cutting major pieces on them. So good night, Vivian. She's left. Remo JS is here, says hello everyone from Bowie, Maryland. Welcome. Susan Martin says I was just using my Teaquilts to make the train baby quilt. Too cute. And I think I might have that too, because at one point I was making a lot of baby quilts, and then it's like my family just stopped producing children until I just had my niece that had a little girl. I'm going to give a quilt that I had just made. Dee Dee is here saying, just join. Hi to everyone. Now, I've been reading comments for a long time, y'all. So I'm on skip. But welcome, Dee Dee. I still haven't responded to your email because I haven't been at my desk working. And Remo says I have about 25 dies. Oh, yeah, she said, did it miss it or did it get lost? No, I just have not been at my desk, and I don't do like extensive typing on my cell phone because these things are always over correcting us. They won't let you say what you really want to say, so it has a lot of typos in it. But I will respond. I'll try to do it tomorrow, Dee Dee. I just haven't been at my desk. And C-Rex says, true, their sales aren't the same. It only works if you and a friend buy dies together and share them. You got that right. And the eye doctor's office told me that half the price sales was better than using the vision insurance. And that's exactly what those people told me. But then he was surprised. Only at Pearl, the other place I went to, didn't use AARP. And it was amazing because on Progressive lenses, which is what I had, they ended up paying half on that first pair. And then the other they'll pay half on one pair, I think. And then on the second one, I was getting half anyway because I was buying a second pair of glasses. So that's how I got the prices down. But, yeah. They told me the exact same thing, that it's normally cheaper using their... And that's why they do it. They already know what they charge for this stuff. They know what most basic insurance companies are going to give you off. So then they put their sale slightly above it so that it negates your insurance that you've been paying for all year. And then when somebody like me come in, don't have anything, then they really happy to see me. But then all of a sudden nothing seems to work at one place anyway. It's a mess trying to get these glasses. Bye, Lisa. Yeah, when they put the studio dies on sale, they mostly will put the studios at 50% off. And Mary's asking if my mom left for the funeral. Yep. She left yesterday. It's been a whole saga since Wednesday with my mom. I had my mom on my cell phone plan, and her cell phone's not working. But instead of her calling me, she's got other people trying to get her glasses. So I told you all that on Wednesday. So I ended up, after I got my glasses, I went back and tried to get her. I tried to go online and get it changed. But anyway, my sister ended up putting my mom on her plan. So then they called me needing all my information so that they can transfer her over from my plan to my sister's plan, since it was with a different carrier. But yeah, we got my mom. I keep her passport. She needed her passport. She didn't call me about that. My niece calls me. Are you planning on bringing mom her passport? I said, nobody ever told me she needed her passport. It's not really needed until October. But she didn't call me and tell me. My mom is just something else. She done had 3 of her great-grandchildren. I've talked to 3 different nieces this week on stuff that my mother should have called me for, which is crazy. But, The funny thing is, when she got on the plane and she had a layover. These air places, they went through Southwest too, Kevin. Southwest flew them from St. Louis to Dallas, Texas. They had like a 3-hour layover and then went from Dallas, Texas to Birmingham. It's just crazy. On their way back tomorrow, they go all the way to Miami and then come back to St. Louis. I say, this is crazy. It's just too much. But I think she didn't really want to talk to me about it because she knew I didn't agree with her traveling. So she was trying to avoid me at all costs. But she wasn't telling the people that she was bugging that's going to have to end up calling me anyway. She didn't tell them that she hadn't told me any of this stuff, okay? So when they calling me, they ask like I'm the one that's not doing something I'm supposed to be doing. I said, my mama, she's something else. But then when she get to that airport, she calls me to tell me she's at Dallas in a layover. She gonna, because I'm the one she calls with the information anyway. She's a mess. My mom is too funny. I'm just pulling off like one of each fabric of white. I don't need all of these right now, but it'll just save me in the future. Trying not to use too many duplicates or worrying about using duplicates in the same size. So just pulling some off. I'm not even gonna use those right now. I think I only need 8 of them right now, but I got a whole stack of them. Okay. So she'll be back tomorrow. I guess she'll be back to calling me after she done went on her trip. But I told one of my nieces, I said, she on quarantine, don't you? She can't see me for 2 weeks. Her and my aunt. And the only great thing about them traveling as far as them both being seniors is that the airline people, they take them where they need to go. So it's not like all they're doing is just waiting for the plane to start boarding and then somebody still comes and push them down. So it's not like they'll get lost or anything. So that's a good thing. But my mom is too funny. Her and my aunt, honey. We're a very close-knit family, and whatever somebody is doing and people are having a big to-do, we all normally show up. And so normally I would be going to this funeral. Like I said, it's one of my favorite, it's one of my closest side, their grandmother. So it's not like I don't know them. I do know them. I know their grandmother. And I'm sorry she passed, but I just can't. I'm not putting my health in jeopardy to go to a funeral when every time somebody does this kind of stuff, you hear on the news where all these people got sick. So it's like my uncle, his wife, which I still consider her my aunt. It's her mother that passed. So what I need to do is, I was going to do that yesterday, but that didn't happen. I need to make some greeting cards so I can mail stuff to them. So I need to do that. I might have just one, but I need like 3 of them. Send one to each of my cousin's house and then send one to my uncle's and aunt's house. So that's another project I need to do. I do like these blocks. I like them. I like everything once I get everything cut. The worst part of this is just ironing scraps, And if I wasn't trying to save my leftovers for my strings or whatever, it probably would go a little bit faster because I wouldn't have to pre-cut any, you know, chopping stuff into approximate sizes. But I just can't like waste fabric. I don't care how much fabric I have. I'm one of those people that I just can't waste fabric. I just can't do it. Okay. Just can't do it. So we'll see how many sessions it'll take me to finish off these blocks. I will try to make sure I save some time to cut beforehand, before next Saturday for sure. I'll try to get these pieces I got laid out cut. That's the working part of this. I had 2 of those. But I'm getting close to getting this second set of 4 done. And I work on them in pairs like this so that I can chain piece. It just makes it faster. I don't have to cut my threads, which means I'm not wasting thread. I think my chair, nope, it was up. I thought my chair had slid down, but it didn't. I must not have been sitting right. Sitting right. All right, now I need 2 colors on this round. And then the next round is all 4 black pieces. That's easy. So I got this real light purple. I'm hoping that it work out in the end. But it, you know, it could be considered a light fabric. But I'm hoping that the color, since I don't have purple on the other end, in a light, hoping that it still pulls. But it's all just something to do. Just any fabric that's not in here already. So I got like about 9 more pieces to go on these blocks. Y'all already know I don't get much done because I spent way more than 10-15 minutes reading the chat comments. Time just slips past when you're having fun. I had a message up on my screen. Okay, this one has 3. This one has 3. This one only has 2. Bring this back. Ta-da. Add a piece on here. And that one's got 3. So just have to keep up with keeping them when I'm on live. I don't have a problem when I'm in here by myself because I'm just concentrating, I'm locked in. But I got to remember that I'm live here. And we got one last piece we need for each block on this round. And And I try to make sure I get stuff that I know I've used already that's not in the block I got. So, but by then I'll have more pieces. I don't know how many more pieces I'm going to cut. The nice thing about die cutting, I have like a little storage unit. And when I cut pieces like for tumblers or whatever, I just have a drawer that I put the pieces in. So when I work on my next projects, I just pull the pieces. When I worked on that first pineapple quilt, I used all of those leftover pieces in this project. So you can always use your extra pieces. That piece is in there already. Let me put this one. I had some pieces that had like a lot of black in the background I had to kick out. I wasn't even thinking about that because black is my accent color. But I am using a few pieces that's got black in the background, but it's mostly filled. And then the other ones I'm just putting aside to use in a future project. And I won't cut any more of those. I'll pay attention in the future. Yeah, we'll just put this here. I think this is the last one I need. So then I'll put these pieces back into the stack up on top. Let me make sure before I put them up. Yep, everything has 4. And just put these back so that everything stays nice and neat. The nice thing about this one that I'm doing, I didn't count how many pieces I need to put on the board. And I cut all of my pieces from the middle of the board up to where the square is. I didn't use the big part of the board until I needed to cut just these, because this is the only fabric I need in the big board. And the other pieces down on that far end of that die, they're the same exact size as the pieces in the middle. They just separated them because you need to have it for the block. But when you're just cutting scraps, it doesn't really matter. So I didn't even have to go down there and cut. But the only pieces I cut down there was the black. Lots of pieces to put up. Melissa Tambot, I can't even imagine making pineapple box. That looks so hard. It's a lot easier with a die. Your pieces are cut to actual size, and it has little cut blunt ends to tell you where to put it on the end of your pieces, which is what I like even more. So now I got to take these and use my wooden little presser here, press all my seams up. Am I at the bottom? Did Joan Elkins come in, or had she already been in? I'm not sure. And I know some of you all bought the AccuQuilt die using my link. I appreciate that, because I ended up getting a check from AccuQuilt. I want to say I got like 2 checks from them for a little over $100. So I appreciate that from everybody ordering. I get like a 5% or something off of a sale. So that just helps. So when I want to do another like AccuQuilt die video or project, and it kind of just helps me with buying more product. That's what I use the money for, to buy more product. So I haven't even looked to see what I want to get, because I hadn't been sewing. I've just been basically laying in bed. So I'll go buy some dyes so that I can do some more videos, or even just do a haul video. So they're looking like this now. Let me see. This is when the square is straight, that's how it sits in the block, unless you're putting your blocks on point. So now I got to add black on all 4 of these corners, and then on top of the black I need to add a half square triangle. So I'm getting close to the end. I got 8 more pieces to go on each block. Oh my gosh, Mary talking about, huh? I just heard on the news that children don't pass the virus much. Guess we'll be back in school in the fall. But that's weird, because they sure are catching it. It's some children that have caught it and some children that have died. So that doesn't even make sense. I know they are being pressed to open the schools back up everywhere. So thank you, Rose. She says they're looking pretty. Just going back trying to see if I missed anything. Diane says, T, I hear you on the mother department. Sometimes you get mad at the manipulative things they do for extra attention. I was the one who took care of my mom. Yeah, Joan did come in. She says, hi, T and everyone. Just came in from outdoors. First night we could all sit out. Heat let up just a bit. That's pretty cool. Cheryl Bean came in, says hello, T and everyone. Ellen says, I don't own a dye either. I got to try one before I buy one. You got that right. That's the best way to do things, is to try it before you buy it. Mary's asking, is that yellow brick road quilt hung on a rod? Yes, it's hung on that thick rod right there. It's just pushed over so I can let the roller shade up. This used to be my daughter's room, so I didn't even change this out to the blind situation when she left. I just left it like it was and moved right in the same. She moved out one day. I pulled the carpet up, went to the store. The next day, pulled the carpet up, went to the store, rented a sander so I could sand the floor. Painted that same day. Had my husband come in. He scraped the ceiling, so we had to scrape the ceiling first. So we did that on Saturday. Sunday we painted. Yeah, and I was moving stuff in. She came over here. She told me, I'll come back and clean up the room, Mama, so you don't have to clean up my mess. I said, don't worry about it. And she was thinking, she just talking. I gotta go back and clean the room up. Honey, I had this room cleaned up, carpet pulled and everything. She left early on Friday. Friday night, I had that carpet up. Saturday, I was trying to figure out where to rent a sander. Had to go across town to get one, but I sure did go get it. She is too funny. You know, quilters don't let real estate sit empty. I got another. I'm going back to the end. And Rose says that she loves the sound of the sewing machine, whether she's sewing or somebody else is. It was so funny. I don't know what I sewed last on this machine, but I remember when I was sewing masks and I was telling you all that you need to change. And maybe no, I sewed masks and then I made quilts. My needle must have hit something, because when I came in here to sew, this machine was sounding so loud. I had to change the needle. I don't know what I hit or did with a needle the last time I was in here. I worked on that Mickey quilt. I did the binding by machine, but I don't remember anything major happening. I can't remember if I made masks after the Mickey quilt or before. And I gotta cut more black too. I didn't even cut any black today. I didn't feel like going through my stash and pulling it out. This is one of those fabrics they sell at Joann's. So that's why I picked it. I know I got some in my stash, but just in case I run out, I know they always got it at Joann's. It's this black tone on tone swirl. I don't know if it'll even show up. There it is, a little bit. Kind of see the swirl in there. Get that at Joann's. So I might have enough of these, and then I'll have to figure it out for the rest of my blocks. So I got a lot more cutting to do. I've just been trying to make sure I have enough pieces to get through a session without making duplicates, you know. So, and what time is it? It's 10:19. So y'all know the closer we get to 11, then I start panicking because I don't have my blocks done. And I even started these blocks early because I knew I was going to be chatting. But it's like I got to get the 4 blocks done. Put this back because it's only got 1. Yeah, we don't want to lose any pieces. You come back up. It's sliding off my pile. I was in the store asking, because I didn't really know if Baby Lock had come out with a new machine after the Solaris. So I was asking her about that when I was in Jackman's, but nothing else has come out, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. The Solaris costs, you can almost buy a little tiny home now, buying an embroidery machine. Cool Gal says, I have a 750 square foot room in my basement, and 15,000 later I use it for storage, and occasionally I will long on when the mood strikes me. So I ended up back in my main floor using that real estate. You got that right. Every room in this house either has a, well, even the bathroom has, like, I put like magazines or books or something. So I guess every room in this house has quote something in it, okay? Everything. Every room has something. That's why I say my husband's so-called man cave, because I put some shelves in there to hold my lecture quilts. And he was just watching and looking to see how much space I was going to take. But I just put 2 shelving units in there. It's too funny. And I want to go through my lecture quilts. I might be reducing those too. I'm tired of all the stuff, you know. And it's so funny because I have people that ask me, how much does it cost? Would it cost for you to make me a quilt? And then I tell them the approximate price. Then they'll say, when you get an extra quilt, just let me know. I'm like, so what price do you think you're going to pay for the extra quilt? You know, the extra quilt? It is too funny. It's going to be the same price. too funny. But I have to go down and I'm so attached to everything because with me making scrap quilts, almost all of my scrap quilts, especially my older ones that I would be like purging, they have pieces of quilts that I gave to other family members. I have a very large family, and I probably have given over 120 quilts or so to family members. So they kind of remind me of who I've all made quilts for. Not necessarily my newer ones, because I've been having friends giving me fabric and stuff lately. So, and I've been using that. I had another friend that told me to come over and get fabric. She had 2 bags of fabric, and I'm hoping I'm just holding it for her until she finished cleaning her room and then see if she wants it back, because she's got some really good stuff in there. Stuff that I have probably a piece of. My friend would buy the whole boat or whatever she bought. Whereas I might buy a yard or something, and if it was going to be for a border, then I would buy 3. But I mostly stick with a yard when I buy stuff. But since I've been kind of making scrap quilts, I don't tend to buy fabric unless it's more of a border print mostly. Or like a stack and wax print or something like that. I've been, because I mostly do scrappy quilts. Got a couple more of these to put on, whole another 4 maybe. I don't know if the one on the end has 3. We'll see in a minute. This is the 3rd piece of black on this one. So let's check this one. Yep, so all of them have 3. I want to get this done before I chat with you guys, and then I can just chat to the end. We're at 10:25. I'm happy to be able to sew again too, so that's good. It was almost 2 weeks of being in bed, and just was like I said, I had so many issues that was messing with my equilibrium. So I guess I'm getting used to taking the medication. I got an arm on these glasses, so, and my sinuses are not acting up as bad now, so that's pretty good. I've been taking the medicine every day though. Not skipping. So gotta cut this one so I can put the 4th one. Once I put this black on them, boy, they really popped in. Wow. See how the black make it really pop? Just adding this black. That's going to be my diamond or zigzag. It's kind of like framing two different areas when you put the blocks together. I can't wait to get enough to put them so I can see the secondary design. I got a long arm quilt that I got from this lady. I had quilted this lady's quilt, and like a couple of places it has like a bird's nest on the back, which is weird because sometimes it will do that when I change bobbins, but it did it like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, that didn't make any sense, so I have to fix that. I've had her quilt for a couple weeks, so I need to get her quilt, because I got it from her right before I got sick, so I need to get her quilt done. I got too many things to do again. That's why I'm always busy. Stuff adds up quick. another lady consulting me about a t-shirt quilt. I don't think she really liked my prices because I haven't heard back from her. You know, when you have websites that'll make a t-shirt quilt for $150, but it's not really stabilized, don't have any batting, don't have any quilting, and it's just a saggy mess, they don't understand that we're making something of better quality. So sometimes I refer people to the website myself. I send them right over there. That you have a saggy mess. Yay. Almost done. Just the corners. Now, tonight is the first night that I'm hearing fireworks again. I haven't heard them this week. I heard them all last week. So I guess somebody got some more money this weekend. Okay, so I need 4 of these. And then I have to make sure when I use them that I haven't used the fabric in it already, because I don't have all my fabric cut. But it may not be possible, but we'll see. I'll take out 6. See if I can get it out of 6. Now, got corners I have here. Do I have any? I'm looking to see if it's any I haven't used. Just like you start to remember your fabric you've used already. Doesn't look like I'm going to be too lucky. So we'll just make do. 2, 3. And I'm taking out fabrics that I'm not going to use as I go. 5, 6. I'm just going to take 1 out. I can quit counting because I'm going to have to make sure I haven't used it already. It's a test. See, this one's got a lot of black in it. See? Can't use it. This got a lot of black in it. I just cut and wasn't even paying attention. So I'm just kicking everything with black to the side. It's showing a whole lot of black. Can't go. And when I go through the stack, I tend to just go ahead and pull 1 of everything. So when I go through it the next time, I've already got the ones I haven't used on top. So I think, well, maybe not. I thought I was finished, but I think I might have a couple more. And I don't know if I used that one or not. I don't see it. We'll just put it here. Alright. Just some corners. Alright. Let's get this show on the road. Larissa says, well, T, it's 11:21 here in Virginia. I'm almost finished with the second cube. It will be set up in the room. Most likely the live is after the live is over. We'll go to 11 my time, which is like another 28 minutes. My son complains about my kitchen table. Half of it has cutting mat with fabric, etc. When I bought a new cutting table for my crafting room, I put my like sewing cutting table that has the arms that fold down and you have like about this wide. I pushed it into the kitchen and it's been there ever since. Cherie from Tropic Studios says, hi, T and everyone. I have just got home and glad to find you're still on. Well, welcome. We still got about, like I said, 28 minutes or so. Yeah, Joyce is laughing at my extra quilt thing. Yep. Virgie is here saying, hi, T and everyone. Late again. It's okay. Get here when you can. Let me see if anything else. Teresa's saying something about teaching people to quilt. She was also laughing at the extra quilt. She says, but so far no one shows. I've even had people ask me would I teach them how to quilt. And then when I mention it on Facebook or something, and I even tag them, I don't get anything out of, not even a like. Rose says, sure, I made my first quilt when I was in 5th grade, and that has been over 50 years ago. And Virgie says, I absolutely have no more room to store anything. I am in that same position, but don't seem to grasp the concept, but don't bring it into the house. It's crazy. It is so crazy. I can store more, maybe a few more dies, just maybe a couple, maybe 2 goes. My big dies are down here. So I probably can get like 2 of each kind. That's about it. I don't need it. And I don't need anything, okay? Kevin says, I think I remember someone forcing me to buy fabric yesterday, laughing out loud. Yes, I did. Because Kevin is good for us. It's his idea to go shop hopping, but then he don't spend any money. But I told him he was going to have to warm up that credit card yesterday. And Mary told me, I bet she handcuffed you and took you to the quilt shop. He took me to one. So, wow, those baby lock machines that also embroider are fancy. It can take a picture of something and stitch it out. Yeah, and it can take a picture of what's in your frame, and then, like, you can place it perfectly in the frame. But I'm not interested. Not for the prices. No, Quilt Gal says, tell her to go to Campus Quilts and check out their prices. She'll have a heart attack. I need to go over there. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to go over there and check it out myself. Because everybody keeps telling me I don't even charge enough. The Quilters tells me that I don't charge enough. And then when I tell people my little meager price is trying to be nice, because I really don't mind making the quilt because I like quilting. But when I tell them my price, they look at me like something's wrong with me. Then I have to really tell them, I said, think about me working on your project for an entire month, 40 hours a week for 4 weeks, and I'm really working on it more than that. But how much would you want to be paid? Think about what you get paid at your job for a week. Don't you want to get paid? You know? Nope, they don't, Mary. She said people don't have any idea about the price of quilt making. Melissa talking about that, Kevin. Did she drag you kicking and screaming? I would love to see that video. I started to video, but I'm like, you know what? It was enough that was my first time out. I had to not overdo it. So yeah, and then like I said, I had a lot going on with my mom trying to go out of town with the phone and all the other stuff that was going on. In between me trying to have all these eye appointments, you got to have appointments to go into any of these eyeglass centers as well, because they need to know who's going to be in there at any given time. So it was just too much. So Eric Older don't fell into the room, y'all. Ain't that something? Diane says, please like and share. T works hard. Thank you so much, Diane. Appreciate that. Don't forget to also hit the thumbs up button. If you're a new member here, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I've been doing more lives lately because of the pandemic. But at some point, I am going to start uploading more content. I did record a video like on one day when I thought I was feeling better. And it was on how I cut, like when I'm working with backing fabrics and stuff, and then how I square all of that stuff up and use it for strings, or if I'm going to save it to attach to another piece of backing fabric. But I do have that video coming. Some people say that they don't know how to make strings, so that's one way of making strings. Cherie says, Laugh Not Loud shop hopping is fun. We are starved for fabrics in my town. Only one shop is easily accessible. I know a lot of them, you know, are running out of fabrics because their supply is slow coming in too, because of all the stuff that's being mailed, and food has the priority. So Cherie is also saying the love that goes into a quilt is immeasurable. And Eric's talking about, what's tonight's topic? That Eric is late. I'm sewing pineapple blocks, Eric. This is just sewing chat. Phyllis G is here saying hi, TN everyone. And Cherie says, I love the live streams. I don't feel so lonely because all the things I do are single or only crafts. Yep. Yeah. So let me go back to sewing, get my final corners on, and then maybe I'll get a design board. Trying to make sure I don't have any of these pieces on here already. We'll start with the lights because that's easier. I only have to use one. Take this off so I can put the white on this corner. And then once I get everything sewed, I do take it to my big press station and press everything flat. On these blocks, since I starched them before, and you see how they've been pressing really good, laying open with the wooden iron. I don't put any more spray starch or sizing on them. I just press them all flat. That's it. I got some strings. Okay, so we don't want any of that, but I can take this one. And I don't think the lights really matter as much if you duplicate, because they definitely are not the shiners in the block, so it should be okay. It'd be like if I use like a yellow print twice. I think that would be more obvious than anything else. And I think I'm done. I put these up. I got a couple extras just to make sure. Oops. You gotta put it in the right place, Teajuana. Now I'm talking to myself in the third person. So we don't have that many more minutes. We got about 15, 18 minutes. So let me just get my corners on. This one won't work. That one won't work. This one will work. I don't know if I'm going to stay up anymore tonight. I may just go take a bath, just soak in the tub for an hour or so. My back started hurting me a little bit. Don't want the green across from the green, but we can use this one. I like when I get to the end, I get really excited. Love it when it's corner time. one to put the triangle in the space instead of putting it on the black. It goes on the black. Nope, nope. Yes. Just gotta make sure I'm not, or hoping I'm not duplicating, but you know, if I do, I do. It's not coming out. I figure if you try not to duplicate and then it happened, you won't have 3 of one piece in there if you're just sewing anything together. Especially when I'm just using like scraps that are laying around and I don't have the whole quilt cut out yet. So, have I used this one? Nope. 1, 2. Trying to see if I got one that's only got 1. Nope, they all got 2. I've been keeping up thus far. That's good. Sew this and take that other one off. I've used that one and that one and that one. And I was making, like, when I was even doing the other method, the Guyleen Fitzgerald method, when I came in here and I just had, you know, peace and quiet, I was like zipping through those blocks. It's just because I'm live and I'm chatting, but I could really do easily 8 blocks in a setting. So I know I should be able, this one has more pieces than hers. But because I'm not trimming, I should be able to do that with no problem. Everything is, edges are meeting up just perfect. I have not touched my rotary cutter. We're on the last triangle for all 4 blocks. I have not used the purple on this one. Time is it? Okay, I'm still doing good with time. I know some of you all don't care if I end at 11 anyway, because it seems like a lot of us quilters are night owls, so we're just hanging out, just being with people of like minds. Make you not feel so weird, especially since I'm the only one in my family that quilts, that sews even. My niece was sewing at one point, but she was sewing just to make stuff, or like she was not like making stuff from scratch. She was like modifying ready-made clothes, but she was using sewing machine. So, but she never did like use an actual pattern and do anything like that. Make sure I got the 4 on there. Yep, last one. Woohoo! I've used this one. I've used that. And then got the nerve to have it in the pile twice. I have not used this one. Last one. And then I'm gonna just get another square, a starter piece to sew onto. Keep it going. You're not going to be able to see secondary design when I show you this, but I'll rotate it so you can see the light in the middle and then the color in the middle. Because then once they're put together, they're just going to alternate. And oops. Pulling out the bigger design board here so I can put my blocks on it. I did put it up. All right, right in the middle. Come back over here. That's one. Mary says her name turned blue and she has a tool. I guess something got hit over here. I must have hit it or my fabric hit it. I don't remember touching it. But it's easy to do, Mary. Okay, I had the light in the middle when you saw it on the thumbnail before you came into the live chat. So that's what I'm going to be showing you in a few seconds here. And then I'll rotate it so you can see the dark in the middle. But the dark really doesn't come into play yet because it has 5 sides that are dark, so you really don't see it all. You just have to imagine where it's going to go. Sort of, kind of. Last one here. My last pineapple quilt I did in like 6 sewing sessions with you guys. I didn't do any sewing outside of the lives. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this one like that. Just keep cutting maybe. Maybe I'll do that. Keep cutting because I feel like I'm going to make this one pretty big. So if I did a 9x9 would be 81 blocks. I'm trying to decide if I want to put a border on it or not. So here's my project here. Hold on, let me cut this machine off and tilt it around this way. Then you can see a little bit more, right? Mary was saying, wow, I got a raise. Y'all are too funny. And Joy says, OMG, I want it. I enjoy, I have been wanting pineapple quilts for a while, but just never did it. And I am having fun making the blocks. When you make your first one, you kind of you got to wrap your mind around what design you're doing, because you can make so many different quilts using the pineapple based on how you're placing your fabric. So that's the thing with pineapples. But like that one I was doing with Guyleen, I just scrapped the entire pineapple because I didn't even want to think about where a fabric was going to go when I had to do all that squaring up. But with this, I can really play. Now I'm going to go ahead and rotate it so that we can see what it looks like with the dark being in the middle, because this is going to meet up with other darks on these other sides here. A lot of you all like it. That's pretty cool. And I'm just going to rotate it now. Oops. Got to put the opposite corner in the center. go. So this is how it's going to look in those darker sections, like that. So I like how the light comes in, and actually when you put it together, you can still see all the dark fabrics, but I think the light areas are going to really pop because it's going to have that black ring going around the center of the white in here. It pops out more than it does on the color. So, but I'm really liking this one, and I think I might want this one for a bed quilt. So I only got 8 blocks. It's gonna take a long time. But I just wanted you all to see what it was I was working on. Joy says, I feel like you're my teacher. That's pretty cool. Diane says, love it, Teaquilts. Joy says, wow. Eric says, love it, love it. Cherie says, maybe they should all be light triangles around the edges. No, because well, that could be, and then that'd be another design. But what I was going for was the light spots being the shiners. And you were almost thinking that it was going to be the dark because I used more dark. But I kind of like the, I like it like that because when I put the light triangles in, because I tried it out before I sewed them on, I felt like the connection point here in the middle, this connection point in the middle that connects this into the middle was lost. Let me see if I can put some light triangles up here and see if you can see what I was seeing. They're probably not going to stay because they're not going to be sewed down, but I'm going to try my best. If they fall off, I tried. Because I tried everything before I sewed my triangles on. I even tried like doing it like this, and I didn't like that either. I felt like it broke up the middle. You see how this point comes in? I felt like it broke up. When it got to this corner, then it looked like it was broken up. So let me go ahead and put the rest of the light in here. And that's the thing about this pineapple. It's so many different ways. And if you did any of those things that I'm doing now, you've changed the design for a different layout. And so now I have these things that kind of look like wrenches, but they don't have no extensions because then it turned white back in the middle. So I kind of looked at stuff, took pictures of stuff. This purple is kind of light. I may not use it anymore. And I might end up taking a fabric marking pen and coloring the ones that I have in here. But this one is really light because this light right here is beaming on it. So that's why. This is the true color of that purple right here. But I really like it. So let me see what the comments are saying about those light triangles. Although I'm not changing it at this point. But it's interesting to see what other people see as well. That's what makes us all different. Let me go back to Cherie's comment. Okay. Betty says, love it. That is amazing. Put it back like it was. Shaquita says, how much did you say you would charge to cut out pineapple quilts? I tell you what, you know, I wouldn't mind cutting as much as if people had their fabric already cut into the rectangles that I could put on the board. Yeah. Then I could just run them through. That is too funny. But I'll cut you one, Shaquita, girl. Eric says, I got my next project after my other trillion other projects. Okay. Pamela says, I like that one more with the black in the, I like that one more with the black in the middle. Are you going to need a lot more blocks? Yes, Diane, honey. I'm only got 8, and I'm thinking I want a bed quilt. And I'm not sure if I want to do a border. If I'm not going to do a border, it's going to be a minimum of 90 by 90, but maybe 100 by 100. So I might need 100 blocks if I don't want to put a border on it. Sometimes I like certain quilts without a border, and when it gets to be bed size, I just like it that it went all the way to the end. So I am not sure yet. I will keep cutting because I'm gonna have to do massive cutting if I'm using just scraps. If I was using yardage, it would go a whole lot faster. But yeah. Mary says, wow, been off since 3/6. I don't know how I'm going to manage when school starts. Maybe they won't care if I don't come in until noon. That's funny. You got to go to bed, girl. Cherie says that they've been back 5 weeks and then 2 weeks holiday and starting back again tomorrow. Oh, my God. Okay. And Diane saying stick a pin in it. Eric says, no, don't care for the light in the middle. Yeah, the light in the middle of all of them, just the light just took over. But when the light was in the light area where it was supposed to be light anyway, it blended in. So, yeah. So she's in Queensland, Australia. Okay. And Rose says she likes it either way. Diane says, I like the colors better than the light. I like the first one from Cheryl. Cheryl says, no matter which way, the opposite colors will come together. No matter which way, the opposite colors will come together. Yes, they will. They all come together once they put into the design. But the white looks more prominent because it's the light areas, not the white. The light areas look more prominent because it's got that black, making that diamond right in the middle. And I was at first going to make that diamond white because I tested everything out to make it so that that whole block would have been with the light colors. But I actually like that black on point diamond, so I left it in. So I've been just playing. I have no pattern. I just kind of sketched out when I first started what I wanted to do because I knew I wanted to do a different one from the first one that I did. And yeah, so this is what I had come up with, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with the light corner. Eric says, how big are those blocks? They're going to be 10-inch finished. Hi, Diane Ritchie. Welcome to my channel. Donna Ritchie, I'm sorry. Welcome to my channel. Good night, Rose. Yeah, it's 11:01. Rose getting hers in. And Melissa says, what if you use a variety of reds where the lighter colors are? I did reds in my other quilt, so I was trying to do something different. That's why I didn't use the reds in there. And at the time when I was making it too, it's all colors, and I wasn't sure what the dominant color is going to be. I do see a lot of like red, orangey colors, but I'm going to be adding in more fabric. And then like when I've only got 8 blocks sewn, so this whole color feel for this quilt could change at any time. And Melissa says, that's brilliant with no pattern. Yeah, I found there's just so many things that you can do with these pineapple blocks based on your fabric value. And you could even do like a 2-tone quilt, a 4-tone quilt. You can figure out, even if you had a 1-color quilt, you could make different values of, say, like blue. It's just so many things you can do with them. I'm looking at the one that I got on my design wall because it's easier for me to look at. And Cheryl's saying, we would be lucky if our kids go back to school building in August. They trying to make them go to school, Cheryl. They act like they don't think these kids can carry this. They say they can't pass it, but that doesn't mean they can't get it from an adult that's at the school. So, and Jones Elkins says that she likes the first one too. Yeah, Mary's also telling Melissa that she used I used a lot of red one on the first one. Yeah, and that's why I was trying not to, I'm trying to do something different because I'm going to end up developing a pineapple quilt lecture, and then I might end up doing a pineapple class. So that's why I'm trying to make different styles, and that's why on the one that I did with Guyleen's, I'm just going to put sashing in between, but I'm going to have to go back outside, take some fabric outside because I have nowhere to lay it out in here. So I'm going to have to take it outside and see what color sashing will work best with it. So that's kind of why I'm stuck on that. But this quilt is actually my pineapple quilt number 2. When I had made those first 4 blocks, I just skipped it because of Guyleen having her challenge in June. And I wanted to do one her way, and I figured that was the best way to do it while everybody else was doing it. So it's put on the back burner for right now. Dee Dee says, will you make a pattern of this and sell it to us? No, ma'am. Because if I'm making a pattern and I'm cutting from AccuQuilt, I can't give you anything to give you the size. And if I'm giving you templates, then that kind of defeats the whole purpose, I think. So if you just look at the one block up close, you can kind of see how I did it. It's just basically where you're putting your lights and darks. But if you all are needing it or needing some assistance with that, just let me know, and then I'll try to think of something. But I don't know how you're going to get the actual, you know, you need a template for every piece, every cut I have. And I don't have a template because I cut mine with the AccuQuilt system. So I wasn't planning on. Eric says, I wonder what it would look like in a field and burrow layout. More like the zigzag. I don't know. I'm almost thinking that it's going to be the same. I don't know. Because the way I put the pieces in there, you got to remember I don't have log cabin block where it's on the opposite sides. I have 3 sides that are dark and 1 side that's light. So it's a little bit different. So I don't know. Cheryl says, same here. They asked us what we wanted our kids to do. We voted brick and mortar school, not online. Yeah, and I do understand that online teaching is horrible for the teachers. It's more time on the teachers as well. And then the kids aren't as invested as much. And the parents got to get involved too. The parents barely raising these kids, let alone trying to educate them too. So and Melissa talking about, I'm with you, Dee Dee. But see, I can't, these blocks are 10-inch finished, so I can't even make a paper piece pattern. It would have to be reduced down to a 8-inch finish. No, it'll be like 7.5-inch finish, because I think the biggest size paper piece block you could put on an 8-inch piece of paper is gonna have to be 8 inches, because you got to have some kind of a margin. So Joan says, I bought the Missouri Star template but don't like it. Need to try it again. I just find I don't like any template. I'd rather paper piece at that point if I got to use a template. Eric says, laughing out loud, T, you made me think on that one. Yeah, because it's, but it's like it's going to continue to zigzag just because of how I made my blocks. So it's kind of going to be the same thing, except that if I don't turn my bottom row around. So I guess I know what he's talking about. If I don't turn the bottom row around, this is for Eric, guys. But you got to remember, I got these lights are now going to be in the wrong spot. But you can't see it. You can't see anything. Maybe it'll look different in camera. Nope, it's not the right way. Hold on. I got to turn it right. See, it's not doing anything to me. Let me see what it looks like in the camera. So all my blocks are going the same direction. Well, this row is like up and down, and then this is down and up. And it's going to do that no matter which way I turn it, because I got 3 things that are the same. Otherwise, I have 2 lights here if I put the lights in the middle. Let me see what Eric is saying before I move it. He go, no, not working. That's what I was saying. It wasn't going to work because of me. This is not really an L, like the log cabin L. It's not really that because I only got 1 corner that has the light. The other 3 have dark pieces. See, I could see it in my vision, but you have to see it because it's not in your face. You had to have me turn it. All right, June. So, Virgie said the foundation papers are 6 inches and 12 inches. That is from Virgie. Must have missed something. Dee Dee says, make the pattern with the AccuQuilt system. I have the cutter, and I can get the templates. Okay, I'll do that. Marty Michelle has templates for pineapples. That's from Cheryl. Oh, man, that's from Teresa McCormick. She says, I'm so late. Hello, T and all. Hi, Teresa. Melissa says, no templates, just descriptions. If length, width, and angle of cut, where the light or bright fabrics go. Okay. Well, she says if length and width and angle of cut. I don't know how I'm supposed to tell you how to cut this without giving you a template. You see that? If you don't have an AccuQuilt, because I know Melissa doesn't have AccuQuilt. That's only, I know that Dee Dee does. And Melissa doesn't have, and so then I don't know because they got all of these little things chopped off, so I don't know where they go. But we'll see. I don't know. I'll see something. We'll see. And then I can also, well, if you want it in a 10-inch block size, I can't even do it in paper piecing because you can't paper piece it unless. Well, I wonder if Electric Quilt can split a pattern on 2 pages and not mess it up. I don't know. But I'll see what I can do for you guys. Diane said I would rather homeschool my kids if I had school kids. You got that right. Joan says, if you put the whites in the center, you could quilt something nice in the center. That's why I have the light spot. And I put that black in there because I felt like it would give me a frame around whatever I put in the center. So the white's going to be where I'm going to really have fun quilting when I get to the quilting part of that. I thought about that, Joan. Melissa says, it's not half. I don't know, pale. Is it 1/3? I don't know what she's asking me. Virgie says you were talking about the dies. And Dee Dee says it is drop dead gorgeous. Like the people who don't like scrap quilts haven't figured out that you can't make a scrap quilt with just 35. I say you got at least have at least 60. I like more than that. I have used more than 60 fabrics in this quilt top. And when I'm going into these rounds, I'm still having to make sure that I'm not using a duplicate fabric in the block. The more fabrics I cut, the less I have to worry about that kind of stuff happening. And the more fabrics you put in, the easier it is to make stuff blend. I must have had a blister on my finger. I'm up here rubbing my hand, wondering why is it rough. I tell you, the older I get, I can hurt myself and not even know I hurt myself. But this is like dry skin. I had a paper cut on this finger like a month ago, so maybe it split. Now I'm up here messing with it. Just leave it alone, girl. It's just dead skin. Might have been from the paper cut. Diane says, I have never liked paper piecing. I'd rather do it where I got my pieces already pre-cut. I think what I'll do is I'll take a piece of cardstock and I can cut out one of each of those shapes out of cardstock, and then the inside would be the template when you're tracing on your fabric. Maybe. That's the only way I can think of something like that. Joan says it looks like a half hexie, but it's not, the length doesn't coordinate with the half hexie. That's the problem. Joyce says good night, everybody. Good night, Joyce. So we're going to be getting off here. I know some of y'all love keeping me late. And my husband comes up and he goes, because he knows what time I'm supposed to get off live, so then I can hear him in the kitchen or something, doing something or going to the restroom. And then I'm still on here and he just cracks up. He just thinks it's funny when I tell him I'm going to get off on time tonight. And he goes, yeah, right. That is funny. So if I can cut the inside of these shapes, and then what I'll do, I'll just write in a pen what position it is on the Teaquilt system. Because otherwise, I don't know how I can help somebody that doesn't have the Teaquilt system. So I have to think about that and see how much, like how I can reduce how much cardstock I would need to do that. And I'm just looking, it just seems like only you and Dee Dee are interested in it. So I can, I'll see about getting it. I have to, this is how I write patterns. I actually write the pattern as I'm doing the steps. So the next time I do steps, I'll probably then have to do a set of 4 before I come back, because if I'm going to write a pattern, I tend to write down the stuff as I'm doing it to make sure that I'm not missing a step. Because I don't have anybody to do a pattern test for me. That's, you know, I have nobody, well, especially with the pandemic. I have somebody if we were sewing, meeting in groups and stuff, but I have nobody to test the pattern. Hey T, you got an affiliate link for Teaquilt? Yes, I do. It's always in the description box of all of my videos. So just go into this live video description and you'll see my link. And like I said, if you order anything from Teaquilt, I get like 5% of your purchase price as a kickback. And you're not paying more. You're just paying the regular rate or any sale rates. And then I try to tell people, thank you, Diane. I didn't see what he put, but thank you so much. But I don't see what you buy. I just see your total, and then they tell me that I'll get 5% of that. So I appreciate that, because when people went, apparently a few of you all must have gone, because in order for me to get 5% and get over two $100 checks, it must have been quite a few of you all that ordered stuff from Teaquilt, whether it was the pineapple dye or something else. But Melissa talking about you're gonna be rich. I'm not gonna be rich, girl. But like I said, it all helps. And then like I'll do something. If it's something else that I wanted to get, then I'll go ahead and get that dye, and then that'll be another video eventually. So, and that's what I need to do, is like go through my Teaquilt dyes and see if it's anything that I already have that I wanted to do a video on. Like I had done, I done one where I did a rainbow quilt where I used a whole lot of different dyes, and then I did one where I I did the chisel, and I turned it into windmills, spinning windmills quilt. That's an old video. And then I also did the crazy quilt block, where I even did some modifications on that die because it only had 10 pieces, and I found a way to use my scraps from the fat quarters that they recommended you start with. And that was fun. That was a good video. And I, as far as like actual process dies, I do have dies like the double wedding ring and stuff like that, but I haven't used it. I got like the Dresden plates. So I got a lot of winding ways, maybe. I got a lot of stuff that I can do videos on. Oh, just tell me where to put the bright and where to put the pale. Okay. Okay, I got you. Thank you, Melissa, for that. You need a new cut pass thingy. You mean like a mat? So, yeah, I don't know why people feel the need to come into an innocent chat room and stir up trouble just for something to do. And, and then I don't get it. I don't know why somebody would want to hurt somebody's feelings. June says, I ordered 4 dies about that time, and I haven't had time to use them because I had all those, she's trying not to say that 4-letter word to make, and then life got in the way. Yes, it's just a mat. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and end here, and we'll come back next week. I'll try to see about helping the 2 ladies that need more information on the pineapple, and then if somebody else needs it, then it'll already be set up. So I have to figure out how to cut those templates onto some cardstock so that because cardstock won't stretch, so you will know you have the right size. And then I need to just try to figure out how to do that economical, so I'm not using a whole lot of paper when I'm trying to cut them. So. But yeah, I will do that. And I will see you all on Wednesday's live. And who knows when I'll get to do desk work. But I will go and check Dee Dee's email. She said I haven't responded to her email. And this hanging skin on my hand is driving me nuts. Got it. And thank you all so much for coming in tonight. I appreciate it because I haven't sold, and Sunday would have made 2 weeks, so almost 2 weeks I haven't sold. So at least I got those 4 blocks. I got the corners on today, and then I made a whole nother 4 blocks and did a whole lot of cutting. I just got tired, so I had to quit. But yeah, so I will see you all on Wednesday. I don't know when I'm going to get that video up about me cutting strings out of the backing fabrics, or what I do with my extra backing fabric. But I will get that up as soon as I can. I just got to be able to sit at the desk. Like I said, I don't know where the so-called backache is coming from. Since I've been in bed 2 weeks, I haven't been up a whole lot. So it wasn't like I was, normally long arm work will have me with my back hurting. But not the just pressing. I've never had that with pressing. Looks like Melissa sent me a $4 super chat. Thank you, Melissa. She is so sweet. So we're gonna go ahead and end, everybody. I'll see you soon. Take care. Everybody stay blessed and stay safe, everybody. See ya.